Just so you guys know, there's a brand new episode on my podcast, Let's Get Real, the podcast. It's for anyone. Don't forget to check it out. Available on all streaming platforms. New episodes every single Monday. And of course, my book, Mindfulness Through the Stars, is available in Target, Amazon, pretty much anywhere you can find books nationwide. Go check it out. It's a mindfulness guide to becoming a better you through your zodiac sign. Lastly, if you've ever wanted guidance, clarity, or spiritual advice of any kind, Keen is the place for you. With access to thousands of trusted psychics, clairvoyants, tarot readers, and more, Keen is here to help. Use my link in the description to claim 10 minutes of talk time for only $1.99. Welcome back to my channel. I've got my big sunglasses on and I'm ready to talk my shit. If you're new here, my name is Ashley. I make astrology videos here on YouTube, and today I'm talking about something that I actually have not covered on my channel before, surprisingly. Today I'm doing like a little drive with me, except minus the passenger. It's just me today, and I just wanted to talk a little astrology and make a new video, which I actually haven't covered before. It's a topic that's brand new. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about how to know each zodiac sign feels comfortable or close to you. So it's one thing to be friends with someone, it's another thing to be best friends, acquaintances, whatever, but it's a whole other level to feel comfortable and close to someone, because I have friends I've been friends with for 5 years that I'm still not 100% comfortable with. So I'm going to talk about how you'll know a zodiac sign is comfortable with you and feels close to you. So obviously everyone's different, you know, you may or may not apply to this. Just keep in mind, you don't need to take anything personally. If it doesn't relate or if it doesn't resonate with you, that's okay. It's totally fine. Okay, let's start with Aquarius, since I'm an Aquarius. Okay, if an Aquarius reaches out to you often and spends time with you often, they're comfortable with you, because the Aquarius is really selective of their time. They're happy to see you, don't get me wrong, whether you're close or not. However, it may take someone else doing a lot of the initiating for them to actually come through with plans, because a lot of times they wait for other people to hit them up and then they make the time. They don't really go out of their way to see if you're down to hang out and just do little things. Along with this, I would say it's like, yeah, first of all, you got to see them often, then you'll know you're comfortable. If they reach out to you to hang out, you'll know they're comfortable. But I think the main thing is if they're comfortable doing nothing with you. An Aquarius, if they're not comfortable with you, they're going to take the initiative. Once you guys set a day, they're going to make sure there's something to do. Whether that be, okay, let's go to the park and walk around and grab a coffee. Or, okay, let's go to this new bar I saw. Or, oh, let's do a paint night. Let's make pizza. They're going to come up with plans in their heads so that they can avoid any awkwardness or any, what should we do? They like to take control of the situation. However, if they're comfortable with you, there's no pressure on them. They're going to be like, cool, we can sit around and do nothing and go on our phones all day next to each other. And that's how you know. Because an Aquarius that's comfortable won't feel the need to have external sources kind of help out the situation so that there's like something to talk about or something to focus on or something to do. If they're comfy with you, they don't need that. They're willing to be more spontaneous, wing it, and just sit around and do nothing with you. And they'll be happy doing that. An Aquarius is a spontaneous person on their own terms. If you're the one that's asking them to hang out, they're likely going to come up with a plan at that point, because they want to make sure that they are having a good time and they're not leaving their house to just sit around and wonder what to do with you or to sit around in silence. You know what I mean? So I would definitely say that's a sure sign that Aquarius is comfortable with you. And again, if they want to see you more than like once a month, they like you, obviously, because they are really, really, really selective with their time. I'm an Aquarius, so we're very selective with our time. Pisces. Okay, so a Pisces is typically a very creative sign who creates a lot of things. I actually saw a video similar to mine on TikTok, and the Pisces was saying, like, if they show you their art, their drawings, their writing, stuff like that, then they feel comfortable or close to you, which I do agree with. But I actually want to take it one step further and say that if they ask for your opinion on these things, because it's, what the fuck? Some guy just literally cut me off on the highway. It's one thing to show the art to you. That is a sign that they trust you. It's a sign that they like you enough to share that part of them with you. However, if they don't feel comfortable with you, or if they don't like you, they're not going to ask you your opinion, because frankly, they don't care. Also, they may not value it. But if you're their true homie, you guys are super close, they're going to say, what do you think? What can I add? What can I take away? And if they really fuck with you, they're going to listen. They're going to listen. I've had some Pisces friends that would ask me my opinion on things, and I'd give them my feedback, and I'd feel so special that they asked me. But when they actually listened, I'd be like, oh, I wouldn't even say anything. I would just kind of quietly note it, and I'd be so touched, like, oh, like you actually listened. It's so cute when Pisces do that. So yeah, I would definitely say Once they show you that they really value your opinion and enough to share their art with you and make changes on their art or whatever it is that they do, their endeavors, I really think that's a big sign. So if a Pisces does that with you, you should be honored. An Aries. Once an Aries opens up to you about their personal life, I really think that means they're comfortable and close, because Aries like to be seemingly perfect. They are perfectionists naturally in their own lives with everything around them, so they don't mean to, but they definitely like to appear to be perfect. And they know they're not, but they want to make sure that, like, okay, I have my best outfit on, I'm good, I'm taken care of, I got money, you know, like they want to seem like everything's okay at all times. So if a Pisces opens up and tells you what's going on in their life, so for example, it doesn't have to be like deep personal shit. It can literally be like, hey, I'm not okay, I'm broke, I'm this is what happened with my family. I mean, I would say the personal things really show how much they care and how much they really feel safe around you. But if they're just telling you at least a little bit about their life or what they're going through and it's not good, that's a really big sign, because they don't want to tell you when they don't have it all together. They don't even want to face it themselves. They barely want to acknowledge it. They're the type to pretend to have it all together, even to their own self in the mirror, you know what I mean? So when you are having an Aries open up to you, make sure you're like mindful of how you're responding. Make sure you're engaged in the conversation. If they're opening up to you, don't be on your phone and like multitasking, you know, when they're like doing that with you, because they don't do that with just anybody. So if they are telling you their personal shit, really take note of that. That means they feel safe with you. That means they feel really close with you and that they can trust you. And they're not like that with just anybody. So I think that's a really, really, really big sign. The Taurus. I think there's this side of the Taurus that is sillier and goofier and more like raunchy than what they let on to others, you know what I mean? So for example, I find that when a Taurus is really, really silly and funny around you, they've let their guard down and they feel close to you. Because a Taurus, they have a personality, but they don't feel like just anybody really deserves to see it. So other people will get like surface level Taurus, like, you know, the fun and friendly, lovely Taurus that they are, but they won't get like that funny, goofy one where it's just like, wow, you're a fucking idiot, like in a good way, you know? So when you see that side of a Taurus, they're starting to let their walls down, you know? I remember I thought a Taurus that I was friends with in college was like one of the most boring people ever. And then I'd see little flashes of her personality every now and then. And I'd be like, where is this coming from? Like, I thought she was kind of shy for a minute because like, I don't know, I just did. And then the more we got closer and closer, her real personality started to pop out way more. And eventually I was like, oh shit, I didn't really know you. And it got to a point where I'm like getting to know a whole new her, but really that was her to begin with. But she just needed to like let her guard down a bit, you know? So yeah, she got super funny and like super outgoing, and I was like, oh wow. And she started telling me more things about her life. She started making more jokes. Also, like, another thing, if they're comfy with you, they're gonna like roast you. They're gonna make fun of you in like a playful way. And they're pretty good at it. They're pretty clever. And I find that they don't really feel comfortable doing this before because they don't want to offend you or start problems. But yeah, if you get super close, they're gonna start to really show you their sense of humor, and you're gonna realize it's actually pretty funny. Okay, so we all know that they love to be right and stuff like that, but I find that they have a hard time calling out other people's behaviors. They can be kind of people pleasers sometimes. So if they feel like they can tell you, oh, you pissed me off, and you're friends, and you're like able to get in a fight with them, I know it sounds weird, but that means you guys are really close. I find that Taurus don't care enough about other people to really address shit. They'll wait for other people to address problems, and then they'll talk it out in a calm manner. However, if they feel like they can tell you, hey, I didn't like that you did that the other day, I think that means a lot, because a Taurus doesn't typically go out of their way to express how they're feeling. They just don't care enough. So yeah, that's another sign. If a Gemini is able to sit in silence with you, I really believe they feel close to you, because Geminis, they like to talk and they like to entertain. They like attention. They like people. They like getting to know people. But sometimes their social battery runs out. If you are not close to them, they will likely overextend their social battery, drain all the little juices left to create conversation and, you know, continue talking and laughing and stuff like that. But if a Gemini is able to just sit in silence with you, they feel comfortable with you, because they love silence, don't get me wrong, like they love their own solitude at times, but when they're with people, they're typically the entertainers or the ones carrying the conversation. But if they're able to just shut up, listen to a song or just listen to the birds with you and not address the fact that it's quiet, you know, and just really sit in stillness with you, they feel very, very comfy. And I would even say that they feel really close to you, because normally they would try and avoid that. They're not like awkward people. It's not like they can't take the silence, but they would just rather fill it with talking, because they don't want to make the other person feel uncomfortable. So yeah, if you're able to sit in silence with a Gemini, I do think that's big. I also think that if a Gemini gets affectionate with you, then they feel close to you, because Geminis, I think all air signs have this weird thing with affection, especially platonic affection. And if the Gemini is actually like hugging you, putting their head on your shoulder, or like holding onto your arms, holding your hand, kissing you on the cheek, things like that, then they're pretty comfy with you, because they don't do that with just anyone. They're not really affectionate people. They can be in their romantic relationships, not always, but they can be. But in platonic relationships, I really don't see the Gemini to really be that affectionate. So I definitely think it means a lot when your Gemini friend is like holding your hand while you're walking. I think it's cute. It's like, oh, okay, so you feel safe with me, you feel comfy with me. So yeah. Cancer. If a Cancer invites you to their house or lets you meet their mother, even as a friend, they feel very close to you. Because Cancers, we all know this, they're the crab, okay? The crab is like their outer layer, it's their home, it's their shell, and their actual house or apartment, whatever, home is representative of that. If they invite you into their home, that is their safe space. They're trusting you to enter their safe space and bring your energy in there. That means they really like you. That means they're very close to you. If their mother lives with them and you meet their mother, that's even bigger. That's an even bigger sign, because they don't like just anybody meeting their mother. Obviously, some Cancers don't have a relationship with their mom or aren't close to them, and I understand situations can be different. However, I'm talking about the Cancers that, you know, are pretty close to their moms. These are the ones that if you meet their mom, it means a lot. It's pretty big to them. That person is very special to them. And if you're introduced to them, then it's big. If you're in their bedroom, that's big. If they're letting you see their space where they lay their head at night, they really trust you and they're really close to you. I remember I had a Cancer friend in high school, and I used to go to her house for lunch, and I never saw her room. Like, she never brought me up to her room, and I was always curious. I was like, oh, let me see your room, because I was a kid, I was in high school, you know, I didn't realize that was invasive at the time. I was just like, ooh, what color are your walls? She never let me see her room for the longest time, and one day she let me see her room, and it was like super normal, it wasn't dirty, it was like a super cute room. And that's when I realized, like, oh shit, we're close, huh? And then she let me up there whenever, and then we got pretty comfy with each other and really close. And I realized, like, oh shit, we weren't really that close until then, huh? We were closer in my head than I think she thought we were for a while. But I remember that day when I went to her room, and yeah, I was so surprised. It took forever, and that's when I really realized, oh, these Cancers, huh? Like, they're very, very selective over who they allow in their inner circle and in their space and things like that. So I was kind of like grateful at the time. I was like, oh, like I went in her room. It was funny. Like, I was just surprised. So yeah. Leos. I find Leos to naturally be people pleasers. I'm so sorry for this sign. This will go away soon. I find Leos to naturally be people pleasers. And sometimes that's not a bad thing. I'm not trying to shit on Leos right now. Sometimes it's not a bad thing. They just want to make sure everyone's okay. Everyone feels comfortable. Everyone feels like confident, you know? So I find that when a Leo is able to be brutally honest with you, they feel very, very comfy with you, because they're not afraid to hurt your feelings. And a lot of Leos are afraid to hurt other people's feelings in fear of like losing them or appearing to be like insecure, something like that. So when a Leo can tell you, that sure looks really bad, I don't like this essay that you wrote, I think you should start it over, they're able to give you constructive criticism, especially in like a super blunt, harsh way. I truly, truly believe that that is like a big sign of them feeling comfortable with you. You kind of got to drag answers out of them sometimes, you know? Like, it's a little frustrating if I'm being honest, but a Leo that's comfortable, I don't think they really do that. Another thing I've noticed about the Leo is that if they... Well, you're a bitch. Another thing I've noticed about the Leo is that if they're able to do nothing with you, kind of like the Aquarius, like, if they invite you over just to sit around and do nothing, that's big. Leos love a good time. They love a good time. They love a party. They love a social event. They love to just go out for a walk wearing their nicest outfit and go get a coffee. Like, they always like to do something because they just love being in the open eye and having people see them when they look good, things like that. Like they just love to be seen. They love to have a good time. And I find that the Leo that can invite you to their house for a cup of tea and just like to gossip on their bed, that is a Leo that feels very comfortable with you. You see them with no makeup in their like sweatpants. That is a Leo that feels really safe with you and feels really comfy. And yeah, I definitely like those type of Leos. I remember I had a Leo that we would always be doing something. And one time, I forget why, but like we had to wait for something. So I was in her room with her for 2 hours. And that's the day I realized, ooh, we're not as close as I thought we were. We're just like party friends. And it was a little awkward. I didn't know what to talk about with her. We just ended up gossiping, like just talking about people that we worked with, because like there was nothing else to do or talk about. We couldn't really have meaningful conversations. And that's when I was like, oh, I don't know if this is my friend, you know? So yeah. But you guys know I don't really connect with Leos on like a really deep level, unfortunately. Okay, so Virgos. I think you'll know if a Virgo feels super comfortable and close to you if they start to open up about personal things in their life and their childhood, specifically their childhood, their upbringing, why they are the way that they are. If they talk about themselves with you other than like, you know, just like shallow surface level stuff, not to say that that's all they're good for, because it's not. I'm just saying, if they open up, especially by choice, like you don't even have to ask them questions, if they're opening up to you, that's really, really, really big. Especially if they're telling you, you know, like what they went through as a kid or how their parents' divorce affected them. Things like that, that means so, so much. I also think that a Virgo that's able to communicate their feelings and what they're going through, and maybe if you've upset them, that's really big. I had a Virgo friend that apparently we were not as close as I thought we were in my mind, because she literally never told me what was going on in her head. She would be mad at me for something and I would never know, because she never told me. And I realized like, oh, we're not friends, huh? Like what the fuck? So yeah, with a Virgo that feels really close to you, they're gonna tell you this shit. They're gonna come to you and be like, hey, you really upset me when you did this thing, or hey, I didn't like when this happened, or you know, they'll tell you their relationship problems, and they'll tell you the whole story. They won't just tell you like why their boyfriend's being an asshole. They'll tell you what they did wrong, and they'll acknowledge their own faults. That is a Virgo that trusts you and feels safe with you. And that is a Virgo that is a really good friend. And I've had a Virgo friend like that before, and it was really cool. We weren't compatible though, so unfortunately the friendship did end. But I definitely did feel very close to that person for a while, and I could tell that they felt close to me too. And it was a really nice friendship for a while. Okay. These glasses are so big on my face, so I'm definitely taking them off now that I can. Anyways, yeah, that's a Virgo. So sorry, this lighting is so trash. I apologize. Moving on to the Libra. A Libra that feels close to you will cry in front of you. Libras are not the most emotional people, and when they do cry, it's usually over something really deep. And if they cry in front of you, I think that is huge. I have been best friends with my Libra best friend for, oh my god, like 17 years. I've definitely seen her cry 100 times, but Libras don't really show when they're going through things. They're really good at pretending like everything is okay. They keep up a really tough front. Obviously, like sometimes if you gotta cry, you gotta cry if you're going through something really traumatic, but they're pretty good at like hiding it, and they like to cry at home alone with their partner maybe, or their best friend. And they're not really gonna cry in front of you at all unless like you're really fucking close. So if you see them shed a tear or cry and they're like able to lean into the emotions, that's really big. If they're crying but they're like really trying to resist it, like, I'm so sorry, I'm crying, I really don't want to cry, blah, 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 like constantly like apologizing for crying, I wouldn't say that they feel the most comfortable with you. I would definitely say that they're still, you know, on their way to that with you. You're seeing the vulnerability, but you're not really seeing it in its fullness because they're apologizing for their emotions and things like that. But I would definitely say that if they are appearing to feel safe to share that moment with you, and they're not apologizing or they're not excusing the tears for some reason, like, oh, I don't normally cry, like, that is a very big thing for them. That's a really big thing. And definitely make sure that you're very present for that moment and you're like helping them through it and not just like, you know, distracted. A Scorpio that feels comfortable with you will tell you what's going on in their head. Most times they don't tell you what's going on in their head. They won't tell you what's going on in their family life, their personal life, their relationship problems, why they're upset, why they're angry, why they won't tell you what's going on in their head. They are a fucking mystery, and it is so draining. So a Scorpio that tells you what's going on in their head, whatever it may be, just their thought process. Hey, I'm going through something, you know, anything, something that's going on in their head, that's a big sign. Because they don't open up to just anybody, let me tell you. They are so selective of who they tell what. They're very selective because they feel like anybody can use their personal shit against them, so they just don't like to open up. And I think that's really just a projection because they're the ones that use their own personal shit against. Another thing about a Scorpio, I think that when a Scorpio shows you like their chill side of the personality, because Scorpios are typically very bubbly, friendly, outgoing, smiley people. You work with them, you go to school with them, you meet them on the street. You think they're the most beautiful, lovely, like amazing humans ever. But once they kind of let their guard down and they get to know you, they're more chill, authentic, relaxed, not so try hard energy. Not that they try hard, but it's just a more calm version of them. That's when I really feel like they get close to you because they're able to just like let all of that go and just be themselves with you. And they don't do that with just anybody. They literally do that with a select few. I'm talking enough to count on one hand that many people, you know? Sagittarius, a Sagittarius. Sagittarius that feels comfortable with you. Once they feel close to you and comfy, their personality shifts a little bit. They get so much more loving. They get a lot softer. They have this hard exterior that I don't know why they keep that up all the time. I just think they can't help it. But when they lower the hard exterior and you see that they're just like a teddy bear inside, that's a Sagittarius that feels good around you. They trust you enough to give you their full personality. They let their guard down. They show that they're vulnerable, you know? They show their emotions. Most Sagittarius friends I've had, I think I've seen them cry maybe once or not at all. Maybe I haven't been as close to them, I don't know. But when I did see them cry, I'm like, oh wow, like, you trust me, you know? It's kind of touching that they can do that. Yeah, I'm not saying they have to cry around you, but just seeing that they are softer with you. They are affectionate, or maybe they call you pet names, or maybe they just tell you they love you, or they open up about their feelings for other people to you. Like they show you that softer side where they're like, hey, like, I'm not a fucking thug. I'm not emotionally unavailable. I actually have a lot of feelings and I love hard. When they can admit that to you and kind of show you that part of them, I really think that means a lot. I also think that a Sagittarius, kind of like the Taurus, if they roast you and they make fun of you and they're really playful with you and they're not afraid to hurt your feelings, that's a good thing too. It's fun, you know? They show you that playful side and it's cute, and it's super nice to have them open up like that because they are really great friends when they want to be. It's just they don't always want to be, that's the thing. A Capricorn that is willing to spend time with you, that's big. If they reach out to you, that's big. If they call you, that's big. And if they verbalize their feelings towards you and what place you hold in their life, that's big. A Capricorn is they're really weird. They're the kind of people that you could have known them for 5 years and they still won't consider you a close friend. It's really on their own terms. You could think you guys are best friends and the Capricorn's like, yeah, we're cool. Yeah, they're a nice person, you know what I mean? Capricorns are really picky. And if they pick you, I know that sounds crazy, but if they pick you, they really fuck with you. They really fuck with you. So don't take that lightly. Also, if they're really affectionate with you, if they tell you they love you, or if they're like hugging you, touching you, oh my God, like that's crazy. That doesn't really happen, you know what I mean? So that's really big. But yeah, my phone is dying, so I do have to go because I don't want to get cut off on Capricorn. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what other videos you want to see. Please, please, please engage with my content. Give it a like, give it a comment, go like it. Did you like it? It literally takes 1 second. Like it takes 1 second. 1 second, please. Thank you. Comment, subscribe, all that stuff. I'm gonna go inside and eat. I'm so hungry. I gotta pee. My phone's dying. Not my phone, my camera's dying. I gotta go. Anyways, okay, I'm rambling. Thank you so much for watching. Check out my merch. I have worksheets, workbooks, things like that, cute sweaters available on my website. Check that out. With that being said, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys.